Hello, it's your friend Lily from the future. Just so you know, for the first 10 minutes or so of this podcast, one of the microphones was acting a little bit wonky. It's totally listenable. It's not that bad. But if you want to skip ahead to like 10 minutes or so, it gets better. Otherwise, no trigger warnings for today. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to Lily's Love. No, wait, that's not what the podcast is called. on the first ever podcast episode, and Ashley never lets me forget this. I said something like, "Hello and welcome to Lily's." At the time, it was the Lily Pod, and I said, I am a trans, or something like, I forget what Ashley, if you're listening to this, remind me what it is. It was like, but you know what? This is going to be the take. This is it. This is the energy for today, Mama.
This is real.
Y'all, this is my podcast called My Trans Best Friend, not Lily's Lovelies. That is who supports this show. Lily's Lovelies on Patreon are the people who help me keep my lights on and my rent paid. And I am eternally grateful to all of them. I am especially eternally grateful to Dakota and Caitlin, who are the elite level sponsors for this episode. Love you to pieces. You can join Lily's Lovelies, $5 a month and up. If you are listening to this anytime after April 18th or 19th, chances are you're not on the Patreon because they are getting it early, right? You get it a whole week early. It's very exciting stuff. Also, and don't tell my mom I said this, as if she's not sitting right next to me. Earmuffs, mother. Thank you. You get spicy content of me, spicy things. I did some spicy stuff today while my mom was gone. Don't tell her I said that. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go back so she can't see me. Okay. So, if you subscribe at the $10 level, you get that stuff, and so on and so forth. But that is neither here nor there. We have a very special guest. I met her earlier today on the street. No. When did we meet?
We met on January.
Yeah, the microphone close.
We met on January 31st, 1993.
Oh, that's my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh.
I kind of knew you before that, but that's when we actually officially met.
Right.
Yeah.
If you saw me technically for the first time.
On that day.
IRL.
Yeah, on that evening, actually. Yeah.
Because you are my mother?
I am your mother.
I am your mother. Anyways, y'all, we got my real life moms here in the studio. And by studio, if you're watching this podcast episode, because every podcast is now a video podcast, you can see we're very much in my apartment. You can see the wreckage of the shoes behind us, the bed that doesn't even have sheets on it because Nugget pooped on them earlier. He did poop on the sheets, but we're washing the sheets. This is a slice of life podcast today. I'm here with my mom. My mom, where are you visiting from, Mom?
North Carolina.
How do you find it up there in North Carolina?
We now call it home after many years of wandering around mostly Europe and other parts of the Deep South in the United States. And now we call it home and we love it and it's beautiful.
Yeah. I hear that you have a pizza oven.
Yes. Lily's dad, my husband, Pat, built a pizza oven. He's part Italian, hence Contino. And
Contino, for those of you who have never seen it spelled C-O-N.
Yeah. And he went to some effort and built an amazing pizza oven, and we've had some amazing pizza on it. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. It is so good. Yes.
Yeah, because, I don't know if this was the only inspiration, but I do remember back in the day we had family friends who actually, I think, kind of still follow me. Felicia and
Michaela
Forrest,
yes.
And, of course, Ukiah.
don't know. Does Yukai follow you?
I don't know if Yukai does social media. Anyways, the point is that
old friends,
family friends, like back in the day friends.
Very close friends.
Very close.
Yeah.
They, Yukai, who is an Army Ranger, had a pizza oven that he built with his own 2 hands.
It was handmade, yeah.
Because that dude is like, he's the kind of guy that would build his own pizza oven and like not have to read instructions kind of thing. Or maybe he did, I don't know. But I remember there would be these like evenings where it'd be kind of like a whole get together, and it'd just be pizza after pizza after pizza because there's so many people. Like you can't really make enough pizzas, but they were very good.
Yes.
Yeah, those were the days. Anyways. So you're visiting from North Carolina.
Yes, I am.
How do you like San Francisco?
I love San Francisco. It's always just a beautiful city. It's everywhere you turn, there's like this amazing view, and the water is all around, and it's cool and brisk and a little windy now. And
it's very windy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I never told you about this. My downstairs neighbor. Mm-hmm. The people, I don't know who they are, but I mean, obviously you can see because it's right in front of us, but for those of you who are just listening, we are sitting directly looking at my balcony. And my balcony has a bunch of, I don't know if I'd venture to call it crap, but it is a bunch of stuff. I've got an exercise bike, some exercise mats, a fan, a random box, some like a hamper to put laundry in, a couple chairs, like, it's pretty scattered. And I also have a big blue tarp. And every once in a while, and the tarp is to cover the exercise bike when it's raining. So every once in a while, the wind will get so significant that we get an email from the apartment complex being like, hey, close your doors and secure the stuff on your balcony. But, it's a big tarp. It can get blown away pretty easily. And one time I woke up to like banging on the door, and it was the security guard like, hey, apparently there's an unidentified object that's hanging off of your balcony, and your downstairs neighbor is concerned. It's tarp.
An unidentified tarp object.
It's an unidentified. It was like like, because whatever it is that the downstairs neighbor said on the phone was enough to like really pique security's interest. Like they were upset about it. They had to have known it was a tarp. And then also it happened, and I got a phone call this time from the lady at the front desk who was like, hey, what was it? Oh, they said, your downstairs neighbor is called. They said a chandelier was hanging from your, a chandelier. That's what they said. What? It was one pant leg of yoga pants. Like a chandelier. I don't know what they're on.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
I just said, okay, I'll remove the chandelier. Here, put the microphone a little closer to your mouth.
Okay.
All right, Mama.
Yeah.
We are here on this podcast for a very important reason. Now, some people might think, oh, boy, they're going to get into it today. They're going to talk about the trans trauma. We're not. Not today. We have food to talk about. Look, we're not. This is a joyful podcast. There's no trigger warnings on. Not today. No trigger warnings today. How about this? I'll ask you one easy question. Softball question, Mom. You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you supportive of me as a transgender person?
Totally.
Sweet. Easy. There's really not anything else to it, right? So I asked you, Mama, to go through and write down some things that you like. Specifically food.
Yes.
And I see the list on your lap. I'm excited to get into it. But before we get into that, a word from Austen. No, I'm just kidding. I want to talk about Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, that's wonderful.
See, I know you might like that.
I love Jane Austen.
I know you do.
I love BBC dramas. I went on a Jane Austen tour once.
I know.
In England. And
a Jane Austen. We're going to have to get into that. So just to preface.
Okay.
And then I'm a Janeite.
I'm a Janeite.
A Janeite.
Yeah,
That
I
means that you
love
are-
Jane Austen and all of the things that go around Jane Austen.
Have you read every single book that she wrote?
Yes.
How many of those are there?
Oh shoot, I'm gonna fail.
No. Like roughly.
not that
Like, give me a scale.
many.
Like, is there 5?
There's
10?
5 or 6. One isn't unfinished. She died when she was 40.
Dang.
She was in the peak of her powers.
Powers.
Yeah. And I'm probably messing up on the number of books, but if I listed them, I could probably
I
count.
can hold it for you if you
Oh,
want.
lovely, thank you.
Yeah. I'll hold it. See, look, I'm a good daughter. Go on.
Yeah, so I mean, if I listed them, I could probably determine the number if I'm not forgetting.
All right,
but-
let's give it a shot. Name every Jane Austen novel.
Okay.
Go.
All right. Sense and Sensibility,
1,
Pride and Prejudice,
2,
Mansfield Park,
3,
Emma,
4.
Sanditon, the unfinished novel, which is
Ooh.
currently a series on BBC drama.
Ooh.
And I can't wait to watch the next episode. And let's see, there was also, am I forgetting one?
Shooting
I'm
damn.
sorry.
Mom, this is not. There's,
Oh, sorry.
this is
Keep
a
it light.
this
Keep
is
it
a-
keep it family
This is a
oriented.
G-rated podcast.
Oh, Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Oh my God, I love Persuasion.
See, in my head, I was just like,
Persuasion.
she's forgetting Persuasion.
Persuasion. I could never forget Persuasion.
Of course. So that's
Yeah.
all 6? 5.5? Are there others? If there are any others, I'm sure someone
Speak
listening.
now. Someone will correct me
Someone
if
will
I
correct.
missed one.
Someone will
will correct me.
Anyway, so you've read all of them.
Yes.
I want to I'm going to give context for my perspective of Jane Austen. Then I want you to color it in. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I, of course, and as this pod goes on, and look, you don't have to like Jane Austen to appreciate this conversation, because I am very much I don't even know if I would call myself a fan so much as an onlooker, because growing up around my mother, you cannot help but absorb Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
And I have a weird nostalgia for it. Weird is maybe not the right word. I have an interesting and strange nostalgia for something that never was really that relevant to me, but I know you like it. And the way that I kind of, and I know Pride and Prejudice is not everything. We're talking about Jane Austen as a whole, but like my interaction.
In that genre of, Regency fiction, or any BBC dramas are in my.
Like the Colin Firth.
Well, that's the original. Well, that's not the original actually, but that's the
That's not the
19.
original?
No, there was a much older, not very derivative version with Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier.
Yeah, and
That's an old name.
What was her name? The one who played Elizabeth. Gwen Verdon, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who the woman was. But anyway, no, that was they changed a lot of things in it, and it wasn't not cool.
Okay.
Not
Yeah. Hey.
But it
look.
was Laurence Olivier, so.
So I grew up around, like, for context, anytime I would be in your room for whatever reason it was, there was almost always a Jane Austen book, or should I say it, or do you want to say it? Jane Austen fan fiction.
Yeah. Jane
So
Austen
tell
fan
me a
fiction.
bit about Jane Austen fan fiction.
Okay, so Jane Austen fan fiction is for those of us who love Jane Austen but can't get enough of her, and because she only had a limited number of novels, there are authors who write spin-offs of, or different interpretation or different imaginings of the Pride and Prejudice story, but not just Pride and Prejudice, of the other stories as well. And they think, well, what if Mr. Bingley, didn't, or what if Mr. Darcy didn't try to encourage Mr. Bingley to not, court Jane? Or what if they didn't go to Rosings? Then what? After that disastrous proposal, which never would have happened. So it gives all these different scenarios and what ifs, and it really gives it's a lot of entertainment.
What is the wildest what if in a Jane Austen fanfic that you've come across?
Well, there was one called that involved vampires, and
Pride
they
and
made
Prejudice and Zombies?
yes, or was it zombies? No, it was zombies. Yeah,
Because they made a movie out
they
of that
made
one.
zombies. Yeah, they made a movie, and it was really good.
It was a really
it
good
was
movie.
really really good, and it was kind of delicious. Yeah.
Now
it was
here's the
kinda
thing about
delicious.
that movie. So
Yeah.
my experience of Pride and Prejudice is through you, but also I had like a year or so of Pride and Prejudice as like a interest in my life. You remember this?
Yes, I do.
This was like early 20s. I was in college and I had like rekindled a friendship with some friends, and they were really into it, and they were like, "All right, Lily, we're going to finally sit down and watch the original, well, apparently not the original, but the 1995 Pride and Prejudice BBC miniseries."
Colin Firth and Jennifer.
Ehrlich? No, that's a person I know in real life, I think. Wait, what's her last name?
Starts with an E. I'm sorry.
Isn't it Ehrlich? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Can't remember.
now I was like, all right, fine. But it kind of like, I don't know, like they were thirsting over these men so hard. And there was just something so, and women, like all of them. It's like, it's a very horny show.
Yeah.
Or book. All of it's very horny.
Yeah.
And like, I remember the moment that they won me over of like, okay, I guess I could like get in on the excitement for this was the lake scene.
Mm-hmm.
You of course know what I'm talking about. So I forget exactly what is happening. Do you want to explain the lake scene?
But at Pemberley, because she went on a trip with her aunt and uncle, and they were nearby, and they said, "You knew Mr. Darcy, didn't you? Would you like to see his great house?" They give tours, and she said, "Oh, I could possibly," but they said, "Oh, he's not there. It's just a great estate. Let's go see it." And wouldn't you know, she ran into wet Mr. Darcy on the lawn.
Warcy. Debt. I'm just trying to come.
Wet Mr. Darcy.
Warcy. Yeah. And basically my experience with this scene was this is the highlight of the entire series for the people I was watching with.
Oh, definitely. The music's, soars.
They've got underwater shots.
Yeah.
It's very like emo
And
boy.
Both are acting very shocked and stunned to see each other, and they don't know what to say to each other.
They're like,
But Darcy, as sees it as an opportunity and starts to behave as the perfect host and go out of his way to include the lower class relatives of Elizabeth that he insulted previously.
I see.
And so it changes. Elizabeth is starting to warm up to him.
Yeah.
But is it too late? That you have to keep reading to.
Right, you would have to keep reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like that really kind of sealed the deal for me in terms of enjoying Pride and Prejudice. Especially because I don't know, I saw you for so many years enjoying this thing that was just like you said, it's Regency, right? It's like yes, Mr.
But the passions are submerged.
Yeah, they're not obvious to the modern
they're
viewer
submerged, so
that it is a very horned up show or book. And I think Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which we saw together,
yeah, we did,
does a good job of unearthing that like sauciness and desire and lust within the text.
Yes,
because it, first off, it's very, very, like for both men and women, everyone is incredibly attractive.
Oh yes.
And not just like
not everyone.
Well, all the people who need to
all
be.
the main characters.
All the main characters are, but like in a way that is just so much more lusty than the 95. Like the 95 one is way more subtle.
Yeah.
But like they're like give everyone incredible cleavage in this Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Right. Yeah. And cleavage was popular. at that time.
I would venture to say, Mom, that
Still popular.
cleavage is still popular.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Front page CNN. Cleavage is out. Cover yourself, ladies. Cover yourself. Oh my God. So anyways, yeah, Pride and Prejudice. Can you tell me about the Jane tour you went on?
Oh, wow. For a Jane Austen person, well, I was an English major too, so I
She's a
read-
writer.
I'm a writer.
You're a writer. Well, I guess a reader.
I'm a reader.
A reader.
Yeah, a reader. Yeah, so we were living in Germany, on and off for over a long period of time. But one of the tours we were stationed in Germany, and I really wanted to go on a Jane Austen tour, and I did. And so I met the group in London, and then we went to all the spots it was like a little mini bus, all the spots where Jane Austen lived and worked, and we saw that. And then as a bonus, they took us to some of the sites where the movies were filmed. And so
was everyone had to have been as hardcore as you, right? Like, or were you the most hardcore
There were-
person there?
actually, I was really surprised that I knew a lot of the trivia that other people didn't know. Yeah, I think I may have been.
Were you just like there, like, well, actually, like, were you like dropping the facts onto the tour guide kind of thing?
Kind of. Well, the tour guide would keep us entertained by throwing out questions and stuff. Who knows this? Who knows that?
And you were just like,
And I'd be like, Hermione, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And so there were some people on the tour who like were spouses of the women who
Ooh.
went to the pub when we would do our Jane Austen stuff, and they had a
They
good time too.
they like park themselves in there and wait for the wives to get
Exactly,
back. Yeah, hey,
exactly,
cool.
yeah.
That sounds like fun for
Yeah.
them.
But we went to the place where Matthew McFadden and Keira Knightley in the rain. And those of you who know this know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, it's the last
And we went to that, what's it called, a cupola or a
gazebo.
gazebo?
It's a gazebo, right?
But it's made out of stone.
Oh,
I'm not sure what it is, but we were there.
get in the comments. Get in the comments.
Yeah, we were there, and we went to the one of the estates where it was supposed to be Pemberley, and that was from the 2008, if I'm correct, movie, and some of the scenes from the 1995 movie. We went to some of the locations, which also were used for Harry Potter movies. Oops.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
And a lot of other movies. There's a town in England where they use the street. They keep it just as it is and use it for movies. But people live there and everything. But it's used repeatedly for old time movies and things like that.
Gotcha. I would just love to see a highlight reel of you knowing more than everyone else on that tour. Like the super mega fan. Because I would imagine there's a casual Jane Austen viewer who like maybe was... I don't even know how do I say this? Like someone who is like, oh yeah, we're on vacation here. Oh, they have a Jane Austen tour. Yeah, I like that movie. Let's go do it. As opposed to you are like, no, I'm coming to visit this place specifically for this tour.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're the hardcore.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see it. All right, Mom. Changing gears.
Okay.
That's better. Okay. I would like to talk about food because we do talk about food quite a bit.
We eat a lot of food together too.
I think when you and I are out and about, the best permutation of us spending time together is sitting on a couch, going to eat food. Sitting on a couch, like rinse and repeat, a couple of sleeps in there, like there is sleeping, in between those.
Yeah.
Because I would venture to say you and I are couch potatoes.
I would like to say more like homebodies.
Homebodies. That's the nicer way to say
Homebodies.
Homebodies.
I'm not sitting in front of a TV,
Sure.
like,
We're not like strewn about with Lay's chips
No.
bags. And,
And we both exercise, so
That's true.
I mean, we're not like
we're
that.
not like sitting all day. But I would say that like when tasked with a choice to, we've already eaten, we've gone out for our meals today. What are we going to do? Something or nothing? Nothing.
And I just love being home. I mean, and especially now that we have a permanent home after all the moving we did over all those years. So I just am savoring being home. Savor it.
Savored. So because we share this, and really all of our family does, but I would say that you and I are homebodies, and my dad, your husband, and my brother, your son, they are, when tasked, we've already eaten and gone out and done our meals or out today. Like, what are we going to do next? Nothing or something. They're going to do something, right? So
Yeah, they probably, especially Dad, needs to.
Gabe
He likes to keep moving.
Yeah,
Gabe's flexible.
Gabe can be flexible, but he would rather. Anyways, the point is that we like food. We're here to talk about food. So I don't even know how we want to do this. Mama, what do you want to start? Beverages or food?
We can talk about beverages because that's
beverages.
how we start the day.
How many?
Coffee.
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 You like coffee?
I must have coffee.
You must have coffee. You know what they call that?
Coffee lover.
Coffee lover, a coffeeholic. I don't even know what you would call it. I also feel the same way.
But it's not just any coffee. It's not just any coffee.
Okay. What is it? I'm going to act like I don't know the answer to the question. Like you haven't been drinking the same thing for
espresso.
the whole...
I drink espresso in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I actually stood up for myself the other day, and Lily made some coffee. And it was...
This is my greatest shame. My greatest shame
is
incoming.
It was, she asked how I liked it. And I said, well, I'm trying to speak up for myself and be honest. And I said, well, it could be stronger. And I'll probably need to go down and get an espresso from the Starbucks in the building. And I don't know if I hurt your feelings. I hope I didn't.
You did not hurt my feelings.
But the next day, she made it stronger, and it was really good. It was like espresso. I have an espresso machine at home, and I make espresso. Lily has a Chemex, which is very retro, 70s, which I remember.
Now, I do want to defend myself briefly. Okay.
I mean, I love the Chemex. Chemex is great. I didn't mean to diss
no,
the
you're
Chemex.
not. You were not. I'm going back. I'm going 2 steps back here
sorry.
to the espresso 2 mornings ago. Okay. So, I make my coffee very strong. I think, and this is just my theory, that the thing that you are drawn to about espresso specifically is the darkness of the roast and the intensity of that darkness of roast.
There is truth to that, yes.
So
it has to be dark roast.
It must be dark roast.
Medium roast just doesn't cut it for me.
Does not.
No. So we went out and we bought some dark roast.
We did buy dark roast, but here, real quick.
Oh, sorry.
I made the coffee very strong, just medium roast coffee.
Right.
I think that was the differentiator. It was strong, medium roast, as opposed to strong, dark roast.
Okay.
I just want to put myself out, and I also want to make it clear to the viewers, I did buy her an espresso that morning. And a breakfast sandwich. Okay. So no, if you're tweeting at me, if you're getting in the comments, say, how dare you make your mother coffee that isn't strong enough? You can just backspace.
She did get her Starbucks app out and ordered me a coffee. So I appreciated that.
Take care of my mom.
Yes.
So, okay. You can you give us like the context? What has been have you always been espresso? Like,
I was not a coffee person growing up. I mean, as a teenager.
Was coffee in your house? I actually don't know the answer.
You know what we had? And the people closer to my age will remember this, but we had instant coffee.
Oof.
Except Sanka. You know what Sanka is?
How do you spell that?
Sanka. It was powdered decaffeinated coffee.
Decaffeinated?
Yes. And
what's the point? Actually, there can be a point. But in the morning?
Well, I didn't really drink coffee much until I was maybe in high school. And just to give my mother some credit, she for dinner parties she had a big old percolator,
Mm.
and that was good. That was good. Um, but I think I started drinking coffee in high school to stay awake, and I think it helped. But I wasn't like I didn't appreciate the finer points of coffee until later.
When would you say that change happened?
You mean appreciating the finer
When
point?
when did you like come into your own as
To my
like
coffee,
a diehard espresso
person. I think it was after I went to Italy for the first time and I had espresso.
Okay.
And
Was there a particular moment in Italy? Do you remember like it was like, oh, this is the good stuff?
I there's been so many since that I can't remember, but
Okay.
I remember I got an espresso machine. Do you remember when you were really little? I would make espresso and put sugar in it, and I would drink the coffee, and you'd like eat the sugar. Do you remember that? I give you the cup,
Maybe.
and you would like
Was
take
it
your
in
finger.
Germany? Like
No,
in
like
four-
it was
how old?
like back in Georgia,
Georgia?
Fort Benning. Yeah,
Okay.
you were little. You were like
Vaguely.
2, and
Like the
really little.
oh, I don't think I remember that now.
Yeah, because Stephanie our friend Stephanie was introducing. I knew about espresso. I don't know if I had completely converted to espresso yet, but she had an espresso maker at home,
Okay.
and so I'd go to her house and we'd make espresso, and I'd put sugar in it, and you would always like the coffee sugar at the bottom of the cup.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember at the Peachtree Mall, which is in Columbus, Peachtree, right?
dips, dots.
Well, dots. I've already talked about that.
You've
in the
talked about
podcast.
dots.
Don't worry.
Okay. Okay.
I guess I've also talked about coffee, but there was that coffee shop right next to the food court. Remember? I don't remember what kind of coffee shop it was, but it always like smelled like coffee, as hopefully it would.
Yeah.
And I just remember being nauseated by that.
I'm so sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
in
why
the
am I
mall.
sorry?
You're
I
not
should be
sorry.
sorry. Okay, I'm not sorry.
We were in the
I mean,
mall all
I
the time. It
feel
was on the way
for
to
you.
Dots, so I wasn't nauseous for long. Don't worry. But I don't know where this change happened. I would say high school probably also.
Yeah.
I started using your espresso machine.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
That was kind of when I transferred into it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I can't drink too much. I drink 2 cups a day, and that's it.
Well,
And,
2 double shots.
Okay.
I mean, look, hey, you're talking to someone who drinks
when
like liter
when I
plus.
make it at home now, I use half dark roast,
Okay.
half calf.
Half calf.
So I can have an extra one during the day if I'm out or something, and I, don't want to have too much caffeine. So I watch my caffeine.
Do you and you put sugar in it still?
Depends. I like to drink it just black, without sugar, first thing in the morning. If I'm out, sometimes the coffee has a certain sharpness to it that doesn't appeal to me, like in some coffee shops. So I'll then put a little milk and sugar in it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I I feel like
oat
early
milk.
in the morning. Oat milk.
Oh no.
I think of okay. What's your ruling on alternative milks overall?
Oh, okay.
Give me a ranking. Like, what's the best alternative milk? What's a mid-tier alternative milk? I can go first if you need a moment to collect your thoughts.
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Top tier alternative milk is somewhere in the realm of like they're coming out with these new like soy blends that are like predominantly soy but kind of have a few extra things in them to like plus it up.
Okay.
That is the best one.
Okay, I haven't had that one.
I'm trying to
Does it have
remember.
a name?
Not Milk.
Non-milk.
Not
Oh,
Milk is
okay.
one of the brands. And it's like kind of like a formulation of, I could be getting it wrong, but Not Milk is the brand. Mid-tier, I'm okay on oat milk. It's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's just nothing is creamy like milk. Maybe that's just me. And then low tier, I swear, if any of you ever make me coffee with almond milk,
Oh no.
get the fuck out of here. with
You're not
that
going to
almond
like
milk.
my report.
Okay, go.
Okay. So, I mean, I do drink milk, but I generally don't drink much of it. And I actually have been preferring for a while. I was preferring oat, and now I go for almond. I go for almond. I know you never knew me. You never knew me.
Apparently not. What about almond appeals to you? It is
It's
thin.
lower fat than oat milk.
Okay. But what about the taste?
I can't distinguish it that much, really.
Is it just like it's like adding water?
Really? No. I think it's
Flavor.
better than that.
It's like a flavor to it, but it doesn't have any texture to it. It's the same texture as water.
I haven't experienced that.
Okay.
But
Is it creamy to you?
Yeah, I think oat milk is creamier. Yeah. So I'll go for any of them. I'll go for soy. I mean,
Do you have any alt milks that you do not like rice milk?
Rice milk, not for coffee.
Okay.
It's too thin and watery.
It is thin. There we go. We can agree on rice milk being bad. I feel like rice
Use it
milk.
for cereal, but
Use it for cereal?
well, not lately, but I have for.
I feel like rice milk is something that was like the runner-up to soy milk when soy milk first came up.
Yeah.
And then everyone forgot about it. Like it's at the bottom shelf of like the non-refrigerated milk aisle. Like,
I think people
want
did
rice
kind of
milk.
push rice milk down low in the totem pole.
And then we have cashew milk now.
I've never had it.
I had some of it, but it was a I learned after I purchased it, it was a cashew almond milk blend, which was sneaky because if you look on the thing, it's like a big cashew, like cashew milk, and then it's like but it's like 70% almond. It's like 70% almond milk because cashews are really expensive, and we got to keep the cost down.
Yeah, they are.
It was better than almond milk, but only by a little bit because it was 70% almond milk. Abigail, my friend Abigail, who I really would like you to meet one day, she's big on chocolate milk. Loves chocolate milk.
In her coffee or just
No.
drinking
Just
chocolate milk?
Abigail is just the most interesting and lovable creature, and she will go to Safeway and just buy milk, like a half gallon of chocolate milk.
Oh, that's
And
sweet.
It's
very,
hold on.
Oh.
She will sit down and drink it in one sitting,
Oh.
a half gallon.
Oh gosh.
And it's like no problem. It's not like
Yeah.
she's nauseous or anything.
Yeah. That's a
Where do
pretty
you land on
impressive.
Where do you land on chocolate milk?
Wow. Well, growing up, when there was a choice in those little cartons between white whole milk or chocolate milk, I would always choose chocolate.
Of course.
And it's really interesting, all the things I ate and drank chocolate milk with it that to me right now would never go together with chocolate milk.
Like
Or
every food that was served
Every
in the
food that
cafeteria.
was served, or like milkshakes with hamburgers. It's like,
That's like a pretty classic combo.
yeah, but when you think about it, it's basically eating ice cream with your hamburger as your drink, like ice cream is your drink.
Ice cream. Oh, right.
Yeah. So,
I would
my
say
tastes
that
have changed a bit. Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
I think if you order a hamburger and then a milkshake, there is some mandatory like thinner drink that you must also have,
Yes.
like a soda, a
Or
water.
water will do just fine.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything
yeah.
that, because like, yeah, you're right that you cannot wash down a hamburger with a milk. There's no washing to be done.
No, it doesn't wash.
No, it doesn't wash.
Yeah. But I also had a revelation with hot chocolat
Oh boy.
chaude.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Next time we're getting
I
into
can't
the
help
French
it.
Francophile
we
of
can't-
my mom.
We can't.
Go on.
We can't deny that we lived in Europe for 10 years. So, just the hot chocolate, the hot chocolate in Europe is very thick and it's dark chocolate, and it's
And they have drinking
really
chocolate.
good, really good.
They have drinking chocolate at the farmer's market on Saturday.
I know it's been coming over here to the States more and more. So that changed my views about hot chocolate.
I see.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, Mother.
Yes.
I think we probably are in a good. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about iced tea real quick. I feel like that we could. This will be a good way to round it out, because
it's cleansing. Iced tea would cleanse the hot cocoa.
it's a cleanse.
Yes.
And I want to quick preface my context for seeing your iced tea. Okay. There's a couple things that we always had in the house when I was growing up. Number one was my mother's healthy enough, but still good enough for her cookies. I went deep into it a couple episodes ago. You can listen to it.
They were, and I still make them, and I love them.
I know you do.
Yeah, and Gabe likes them too.
Does he really?
Yes, he does.
He didn't
makes
used
them.
to.
He makes them for himself.
No, he
yes,
doesn't.
Yes, he does independently.
What?
As an adult. Yeah.
Get out of
Talk
here.
to him about
of course he does. By the way, shout out. My brother just broke a sub 5-minute mile. Isn't that crazy?
He's crazy.
He's a monster.
Amazing. He's a sweetie pie.
Yeah, of
just
course.
Like Lily.
Yes, we're both
my
sweetie
kids
pies.
are sweetie pies.
All right. So it was those cookies and iced tea. Those were like, if you couldn't count on two maybe, and also dark chocolate. We had dark chocolate and usually some sort of like trail mix, nut mix that was unseasoned and a little bit too healthy to eat. But no, we always had iced tea, and I would just remember walking into the kitchen and seeing a big pot. It was always the same blue pot, and you'd just be making another batch of iced tea, and it'd just be sitting there, like lukewarm on the stove. You did it a few hours ago, and you yet to put it in the fridge, and that was just like always there.
It was always there.
So tell me about your love of iced tea.
Well, I find it just so refreshing, and I like lots of ice in it. And
sweet tea, Mom?
Okay.
Sweet tea.
I was once hooked on sweet tea. When we first moved to Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia.
When you were born. Yeah. And it was everyone around drank sweet tea. It was, I mean, you had to specify if you went into a restaurant, unsweet tea.
Sweet tea.
If you said iced tea,
it's gonna be sweet.
It's going to be sweet tea,
It'll
and
be sweet.
it's not just going to be sweet.
Syrup.
It's going to be syrupy sweet.
Syrup.
I mean, it's painfully sweet now for
More
me.
sugar than tea.
Yeah, more sugar than tea.
Talking about washing it down. No washing.
So to me, I started tasting it and saying, hey, I like this. And I started drinking a lot of it. And I realized, I think I'm going to just go back to unsweet. And so since then, I did.
Yeah.
And I find it just very cleansing and refreshing. And also desirable when we lived in Europe for so long. And you couldn't just go anywhere on the street and get an iced tea.
Nope.
It was not available. And so I
But
craved
you'd
it.
think with how much they love hot tea, that they'd be more interested in the cold version.
Well, sometimes you would find an iced tea sort of drink, but it was always very sweet and had some kind of flavor in it of some kind.
Those damn Europeans. I'm looking at you, British people who listen to this podcast, Scottish people, Emma, looking at Zoe.
But ice wasn't even that available.
They don't even have ice in Europe yet.
They don't generally offer ice unless you're at a cosmopolitan bar in big city or something. So
they also don't offer free refills. That's not a thing.
No free refills.
Crazy.
Very
or
rare.
Free water.
No, we bought probably
Mint gas.
Yeah,
water.
we bought a lot of water, and that's yeah, I'm glad not to have to buy water anymore. Generally, buy seltzer.
Right.
And seltzer.
That's another thing we can.
That's another thing.
See, we got things to dig into here.
Yeah.
But anyways, iced tea, refreshing. I also drink iced tea when it's available. I did for a moment start making my own iced tea. It was just too cumbersome. I was just too lazy.
Yeah.
And it's like a little bit too expensive to buy like a la carte at the grocery store.
You can do sun tea, where it's not labor intensive. You just put it out on your balcony or something in a day or two. I forget how long.
Mama, we don't need another chandelier situation. It's going to fall and explode and then they're going to have something to talk about.
Yes. Way to wrap
full circle. That's
beautiful.
That's what I do, Mama.
Oh, you do it so well.
That's what I do.
You do
we
well.
get things full. It's the callback.
Full circle.
Full circle. Anyways, any last words? Anything to plug? Mom.
Plug.
Yeah, what do you have to plug? What's going on?
I'm going to plug you.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, whoops.
I'm playing.
Never mind. Not that one. No, I appreciate all of you who support Lily and hope you'll continue to do so and tell your friends. Do I have anything to plug about myself?
You want to plug your cute dog?
Oh yeah, Puffin. Puffin's our second Shih Tzu, and
Watch your language, but go on.
Coco was our Shih Tzu for 16 years, and now we have Puffin, who is our dog in North Carolina, and he's the uncle to Nugget, even though he's still a puppy, and Nugget is much older.
That he is.
Yeah.
Nugget is older, but it's all relative.
Family
in dog
bonds,
years.
man. It's family bonds.
It's family bonds. Well, Mom, thank you for being on this podcast.
My pleasure.
You can
Thank
just
you.
tell me how much and where to send all of the payment for your guest spot, whatever your honorarium
Yeah,
is.
right.
However many zeros needs to be there. Thank you for listening.
Thank
Again,
you, everyone.
Yeah, if you would like to support me on Patreon to get this episode and other episodes in the future early, it's patreon.com/LilyTino. We also have monthly group hangs on Zoom, and actually that starts in 8 minutes, so we're about to go on to that one, or at least I am. We have spicy pictures. Don't tell my mom I said that, but that's on the $10 tier. Okay, that's on the $10 tier. Spicy pictures and videos. Yes. As well as a whole bunch of other real cool perks. But I guess most importantly, you get to go to bed at night. You get to rest your little dainty head on that pillow, snuggle up, maybe grab a little body pillow or a significant other or a pet or whatever, and be like, I can sleep easy tonight because I'm taking care of my girl Lily. I know that my $5, $10, or more dollars a month is going to buy her them groceries. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, thank you again for listening. And as always, what should we say? Like stay blank, like stay happy, or stay like
Stay loving.
lovely.
Lovely.
Stay lovely. Wink.
Stay lovely. Wink.